Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Yesterday, I recorded a video clip where I was trying to explain for the umpteenth time that a healthy and functioning democracy demands that those in public office must be accountable to the people. As the American President Abraham Lincoln defined it, democracy is the government of the people, by the people, for the people. The said people, if it's going to be their government, they are the ones who elect officials to carry out various public functions. And it is the people's duty to make sure that those public officials are accountable to the people at all times. It is a sacred duty of the people to hold the leaders to account. But trying to explain this to some of our Zimbabweans has been, to say the least, mission impossible. Some people cannot understand that a leader like Chamisa is accountable to the people. I've tried to explain that Chamisa is not just an opposition leader. The people of Zimbabwe elected him and his fellow MDC-CCC leaders for one specific purpose, primary purpose, to implement the democratic changes so that we could end this unfair dictatorship. So in this case here, the MDC was launched in 1999. And one has got to look at what have they implemented the reforms to dismantle this unfair dictatorship. 25 years down the line, you find no, they haven't. The ZANU-PF is still able to blatantly rig the elections and get away with it because, number one, the MDC leaders have not implemented even one token reform in 25 years, including the 5 years in the GNU. And worse still, ever since the 2008 to 2013 GNU debacle, they have been participating in flawed elections to give ZANU-PF legitimacy. That is the historic facts. And surely we must hold them to account. And more so, we must educate the people that the MDC leadership have let them down. Yesterday, I was trying to address the issue that was raised by one of the listeners out there. And his argument was simple. That yes, Chamisa and company have lied. But what about it? It doesn't matter. ZANU-PF leaders have lied too. And I tried to explain that as much as I agree that ZANU-PF leaders have lied and done a lot worse things, we if we are dealing with the issue of ending this ZANU-PF dictatorship, we have to focus on what Chamisa and these MDC Triple C leaders are doing, because they are the ones we have entrusted the task of implementing the reforms necessary to end the ZANU-PF dictatorship. So if you are going to address that issue, you need to deal with, to hold Chamisa and company to account. And yet, some of these people are resisting that. The main reason for it is, of course, that they believe that Chamisa and company are demigods. They cannot be held to account. This is at the heart of the argument. And this is not helping, of course, because if we are serious about ending this ZANU-PF dictatorship, we have to be serious about how are we going to end it. I explained yesterday in the past several times that we had two options. We could either end it by taking up arms to fight the regime, as we had taken up arms to fight the Smith regime, or we could elect opposition leaders who will implement the democratic reforms. That is the route we have taken so far. So after 25 years, we've got to say, why have they failed to implement those reforms? And for anyone to turn around and say, no, we can't hold Chamisa to account, it defeats the whole point. Here is the latest comments from this individual on that very issue.
Because for the past year, I don't know how many years, every day you just write about Chamisa. You're so obsessed about him. Please just form your own political party. I think that's the way to go. Just leave him alone. Leave him alone. It's okay. Every day, the moment I just see a very negative comment, you are not a solution, you're just an armchair critic, but you are just one of the useless persons. Please refrain from discussing about him. You form your own thing and do and move on. I think you can do better. Let him like that.
Here we go. His main argument is that he doesn't want to hear Chamisa criticized or asked to hold that he must be accountable. That is the argument. He is untouchable. He is a demigod. And he is fighting to protect him. Why he should be so obsessed about me calling for accountability, and yet he's not obsessed about the fact that the country is stuck. We have had elections for the last 46 years, rigged elections. In the last 25 years, ZANU-PF has been able to rig elections with the help of Triple C. It doesn't care about that. Leave Chamisa alone. Well, I think we need to be very clear here. Number one, all those in public office are accountable to the people. That is how democracy works. We are not going to start having individuals who, if they form their own parties, they somehow must be shielded from accountability. They can do whatever they like. They can con people to participate in flawed elections to give ZANU-PF legitimacy, and we should not even ask what they're doing. No, they will be asked, and they will be asked to account for it. And it is important that the ordinary people understand that they are being exploited. These leaders are taking advantage of the fact that the people themselves do not understand what's going on. Yesterday, I played a video clip. And for those maybe who did not watch it, I'll play it again.
Bhazi rikafira musango, munhu asina kwaari kuenda bhazi mumu anofara kuti ndo patopumba pake nditori nevamwe vangu pana. Munhu anorwadziwa nekurara musango, munhu ane kumba.
Taibadana kumba kwangu.
But amana kumba kugumbezi rangu reri. Mwana so. But munhu asina imba hatete kurara musango. So opposition inomake sure kuti vanhu vaya vawane minda. But may he so rest in peace vatsvangirai. Prazi ravo vanga vainaro. Chamisa anaro.
Anaro chamisa. Ane family.
Kana azoramba. Ndoenda newe.
Riri kupi?
Ane farm.
Ribi.
I know madress munhu anetsa kuti focha, but anaro. Chakudza off camera.
Okay.
Ane mine.
Ane mine?
Ane makaseo.
Yeah?
Yes. Biti. Ane prazi. Hauna kumboona here picture yabiti achitenga mombe kuna Temba Mliswa. Dzekuisa kuprazi. One of the biggest beef producers in the Matabeleland region, the Washman Ngwe.
Okay.
Yes, ane prazi. Ana utenga beneficiary pa land reform. But what they did is to discourage their people from acquiring my farms. Because why is that munhu akaona something chapiwa nehurumende haachapikisa.
Are you for real, Mr. Ganesha?
Nomubvunza Washman Ngwe kuti haasi kuita beef here, producer beef here paprasi. Tonyandanetsa naupo waching'ono gore rere. Handiti kuti stand yaupo waching'ono standard ine painogumira. But vakatotaura nehurumende nemasabhuku ikaextendwa because aita god.
In other words, in that video, we see what we've been talking about, that the opposition leaders have sold out. They were given the trappings of high office, the E-Class Mercedes-Benz limos, the very generous salaries and allowances. And for Morgan Tsvangirai, the $4 million mansion in Highlands during the GNU. And they forgot about the reforms. Now we are hearing that they got even more than that. The farms, the cash to start all these other economic activities, the car sales, and so forth. Surely, we have to hold these leaders to account. Surely, the ordinary citizen who risked everything to elect these officials has a right to know that they did not implement the reforms as they had promised because they sold out. To say you should leave Chamisa alone is a foolish argument, particularly in a country that is in serious political and economic mess, because for 25 years, we failed to implement even one token reform to end this ZANU-PF dictatorship. And some people are so naive and gullible that they don't realize that the men and women that they've been voting for have sold out. They still believe that the MDC leaders would deliver the changes, not knowing that these guys have sold out. The individual here is defending Chamisa out of this personality cult mentality that has made many of our people believe that leaders like Chamisa are demigods who can do no wrong. We should not be questioned, much less held to account. I think in the face of the evidence of 25 years without even one token reform implemented, and then we find they have been bought, they've been bribed to do nothing about the reforms, to say we should still consider them to be demigods is idiotic. And that is the sort of foolishness that this country has got to fight against and overcome if we're ever going to get any meaningful change. The individual has put himself in a position where it is a day's work for Chamisa to con him again to participate in 2028 and give ZANU-PF legitimacy and perpetuate the dictatorship. Zimbabwe cannot afford another rigged election in 2028. That is the political reality. And we can only stop it by making sure that some of these individuals who are so foolish that they think Chamisa is a demigod, the truth is hammered into their empty heads. Chamisa is not a demigod. He is a mere mortal. And not just any mortal. He is a mortal with a well-documented track record of being corrupt, incompetent, a liar, and a conman. That truth must be hammered into the empty heads of some of our citizens out there. Think about it. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.